also because when you want to learn more, you actually, if you're expecting people to cook and you're forced to cook from that region, you forced yourself to actually learn. So that was because I'm that kind of guy, like, I don't learn something if I have to cook something different, then I learn. And also to know this wonderful country which is Italy and learn about the regional cuisine. So this is still changing me because I'm still doing more region. So there's still some region I didn't do about Italy, but learning more also about my own country. So now the way I look at food, of Italian food right now, it's very different than what it was before. Because I thought before was pasta rapini everywhere. Puglia, you know, cavatelli with rapini. Then you discover you go in Sicily, you got all this fish, salty flavor, anchovy, tuna. And then you go, an example, you travel to the Campania, and you get like gnocchi with buffalo mozzarella, and then you go to Rome, and you like maybe oxtail alla macinara. So it's a trip. Every place is known for different things. So, of course, we're related, you know, in particular the Southern Italian food. It's quite similar in the technique. The center actually got a little bit from the north and some from the south. Yeah, actually the one.
Just the green button. Just hit the green button.
And then, oh, now you guys can hear all my voice. And then like we also like know the north, like northern Italian food, which a lot of people say, well, of course the south they use olive oil and the north they use butter. Yes, some of them they use olive oil. I would say is used all over Italy. Of course, more in the south because it's the most Mediterranean part. In the north, because you got the mountain, more mountains, so you got like the cow. So it's not just because the north, you got like more cow culture. So you got more cow milk. We're sheep in the south actually, and they're cows. If I have to describe, yeah, because actually a beef back home, I see the beef just the last 10 years. Before, I didn't even know what was manzo, which means beef. When I was a kid, I said, "Mama, what's beef?" And she said, "Oh, it's a cimental, which is this beef in a can." It's like, so I understood maybe at the age of 12 what was beef. I was ready. And anyway, since being Italian, of course, I'm obsessed about food because I grew up into the food, and I thought that I was a normal kid. You know, I would have a nice sandwich with mortadella after lunch, and I thought that was normal. Every kid would do that. Years after, I realized, I think I was a little bit different. Anyway, today it's just a special occasion to celebrate and get together actually with the friends and throw this supper club, which has different dish from different areas. And you know, an example today we're gonna have like some. Well, we had some focaccia bread. This typical from Bari, focaccia barese. The best focaccia in Italy from 3 places, from Puglia, from Sicily, and from Genoa, which is where they make the pesto. So they call it spincione too in Sicily, and the focaccia genovese is very nice, white and very crispy, beautiful. And the good thing about focaccia, you just need a lot of oil. It's almost a pan-fried bread, that's why it tastes good. You don't see the oil, but you taste it. And also the secret is the pan. I get this pan from Italy, which they season, so they give the flavor to the bottom part. Then we're going to have some salami artigianale, artisanal salami. This is a butcher that makes it locally. It's in Woodbridge, of course. It's all there. You don't go there like the good stuff. But he makes good stuff. He makes one of my favorite actually prosciutto. This tastes like a real artisanal prosciutto. Not really actually salty. Because all the homemade prosciutto usually are so salty that you can't taste anything. And they age it for like, this is aged for around 16 months. So it's actually a good artisanal prosciutto, which actually, even at home, the homemade prosciutto, it tastes different than Parma prosciutto. So Parma prosciutto, an example, you have that kind of taste because you have the cow, which they eat the way of Parmigiano, so which they're sweeter. That's why Parma prosciutto and Parmigiano combination goes very well together. And so then everywhere else you have like an artisanal prosciutto, which is a completely different flavor. So I can't say which one is better, it depends on your taste. And even a prosciutto, there's so many. Then we get actually some soppressata, that's typical from Calabria. Soppressa, means to press, so just give a different texture also to the salami. And then capocollo, which is actually still used all over in Italy, particularly in the south of Italy too. And this is actually pressed to give a little bit different consistency. Then we're going to have a carpaccio di polpo, which is a typical dish from the south of Italy, particularly from Sicilia. Sicilian, since we like, you know, they have a good octopus, and the best octopus is the one that lives not in the sand, on the rock part. So it's actually it's not raw, even if the word carpaccio, you may think it's raw, but you cook it, you press it, and then you freeze a little bit, and you cut it nice and thin. It's a different way to have octopus, if you don't like that chewy consistency. Then we get another dish always from Sicily. I don't make enough for my region. Porca miseria. But anyway, those involtini di pesce spada alla catanese, swordfish rolls from Sicily again, from Catania. There's different way. There's one way they make it with the pine nuts and raisins, a little bit of breadcrumb. This one is more with the tomato, and more like a salty flavor. I get some olives inside, capers, Sicilian capers, and salt, some breadcrumbs, some basil, and some basil and pomodoro, tomato. The word sometimes doesn't come. Then we can have some pasta. Today we have a couple of pasta courses. One is tajarin, which is it's the almost dialect word in Piemonte to say tagliolini, which is tagliolini, tagliare, cut, means cutting sometimes pasta, very thin, and it's which is typical from Piemonte. This is tajarin delle Langhe. Langhe, it's an area where they make the famous wine, the Langhe, what's called the Nebbiolo area. So,
the fog.
So the Langhe, which is what's different from this pasta. The usual pasta, of course, is made with the flour and eggs. This is made with semolina, flour. Semolina, why? Because semolina gives a texture to the pasta. So you give the al dente things, in particular the fresh one. And actually it's mainly made with egg yolks, no eggs. So it's really rich flavor. We're going to serve with a sauce, sage and butter, because this is all about the pasta. So you want to bring it out, the essence of the pasta out, and no cover it. And then we put a little bit of truffle juice. We don't have fresh truffle now. And anyway, but truffle juice will work. We'll cheat, but we'll use it. And some Parmigiano. Then we're going to have another dish. It's gnocchi. Don't worry, we'll eat in 6 minutes. Just keep yeah. We'll make it there. Well, we're almost to the main course. Then we're going to have ricotta, gnocchi di ricotta gnocchi, which are very light. Almost, they should melt in your mouth. Hopefully, that's the idea, man. So we serve it with the duck ragu. This is a typical dish from Emilia Romagna and Marche, which is actually this area. Puglia, we cut it, but this is Marche, Emilia Romagna, Sicily. This dish from there, because that's where they use mostly dishes in the Marche with the duck or birds, Tuscany, more in the central area. So this is beautiful red sauce, and with the light gnocchi. And then as a main course, we can have another dish from Piemonte. Since we're a little bit winter, so you know it's nice and comfy. Brasato al Barolo, you know, Barolo braised. You know, I gotta be honest, I don't use Barolo. You'll never use. It's called that way, but no one uses Barolo because probably once you cook really the wine, you lose a lot of their flavor. So it's really, you don't really need an expensive wine to make. You know, I try it in every way. Like you will never know the difference. But you want at least a full body wine. I use like braised beef cheese, which is one of my favorite pieces for braising because it melts in your mouth. And then we're going to have some radicchio al forno, which is typical from Treviso, close around the Venice area. And we're going to bake it a little bit better. Of course, it's radicchio. We try to melt it down with a little bit of Parmigiano. And then desserts, we're going to finish with a nice warm chocolate kind of souffle or cake with a gianduia inside, which is gianduia is a Piemonte hazelnut chocolate, very famous because actually the first chocolate place opened was not in France, in Belgium. I have nothing against the French. It was in Torino.
Right.
In Torino was opened the first chocolate place, and then but the most famous there is the hazelnut chocolate. So the typical nice gianduiotti, I'll show you after.
Gelato.
And a little bit gelato, vanilla ice cream. I didn't make that one. Ed's real cook made it. I don't know if you know it. But I like their ice cream. It's good. And then we're gonna be good. So, buon appetito.